Hi, I'm Lori Flaquette of Saltar Solutions, and I am here today on Focus Forward. I am so thrilled to have this guest with me today. She is phenomenal. I've been waiting to get on her calendar for such a long time because she's so busy with product development and clients and all these things. I want to take a minute right now to welcome Donna Cravotta, who is CEO of Social Sage PR. So I am so happy to have you, Donna. Thank you so much for being here.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. I'm thrilled.
Me too. Me too. Great. Okay, so let's launch right in. What exactly do you do at Social Sage PR?
Well, what we do is we combine PR and social media. So what I do with my clients is I will go through all of their social media sites, all of their marketing collateral and PR collateral, and I will make it beautiful and all work together. Pitch them to the media, get media opportunities for them, and then take them and share them online to keep those opportunities going. So if they're in a magazine or on a radio show, I take those opportunities and I just share them online, and they continue and continue and continue. And I also teach them to do this themselves, to become their own publicists, and how to interact properly with the media, and how to keep all of their social media sites and their collateral up to date, so they can pretty much essentially be their own publicists. And they're pretty successful at it because they're very passionate about what they do, and they pitch themselves beautifully once they know how to do it.
Okay, so I told you I was going to hold your feet to the fire, so I am going to do that right now. What is
ready.
Already, I'm going to start right away. What is the first step, the very first step in figuring out your social media or your publicity or whatever? What's the first step in your mind?
A keyword analysis.
Okay, so the keyword analysis is your first step?
Yes.
And then what?
Find out the keywords that are relevant to their market that will be able to drive their information online, and once we have those words, we build them into everything that we do. Okay,
so you start out with your keyword, then what?
Then we go into the social media sites, and we start building in the social media sites, building custom applications and customizing everything, making sure everything is branded, so wherever anybody lands, the look and the feel is the same way. It's like if you've gone into somebody's house and you're walking from one room to the next room, you know you're in a different room, but it still has the same feel. So their Facebook page, their LinkedIn profile, their Pinterest, their YouTube channel, they all have the same look and feel, and they're all kind of related to what their website looks like and any other branding they have. And from that point, we go on and we start working on the PR collateral, which would be a media kit, a pitch letter, a one sheet, and anything that they would need to pitch the media.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to ask this question. Why is it important that the look and the feel throughout is consistent?
It up-levels everything. It shows that you put effort and purpose into everything that you're doing, and I think that it's branded, and often the brand will just amplify what you're trying to accomplish with your business. It will speak to your target market. It gives a level of professionalism and comfort, I think is a good word too. I know if I go to somebody's site and you click on things and they don't work, and you have to go 4 layers deep to find the information, I don't want to go any further. But if I go and it feels welcoming and everything works and everything is cohesive, it makes me want to go see what the next step is. And then if I go, like if I'm led from Facebook right into Twitter, and it looks and feels the same, and it feels like I've just gone like one level deeper into their world, it's welcoming. And a big element of any kind of sales or business success is the like, know, and trust. This is how you build trust, and this is how you build a relationship, and everything is about building relationships.
Well, that's absolutely true. The like, know, and trust, that's right up there. So now, you mentioned the website. How is it that your website feels like a party? It's like you go to your website and right away you're happy. How did you do that with your website? Like, what are the elements of your website that make it so fun?
I shared my story. And I will say my brother's a photographer, so he took the pictures, and he's great. So he was really able to capture me. But you know, I have a great team that works with me, and I have a wonderful graphic designer and web person, and they've taken my content and their design, and we've kind of married it all together. And my favorite colors, purple and green. But the content, it's my story. It's where I started, where I came from, how I started to do what I'm doing, why I love what I'm doing, and stories about my clients as well, how I've helped them, and how they've learned to help themselves grow their online presence and their media presence, and made connections and relationships that they just never thought that they would have. And that is what really gets me excited about what I do.
Well, that's fabulous. So now, how does one go about getting that consistency? How do you do that? Like for the average entrepreneur or business owner out there, how would they start that? Just give us a little bit of insight into how to make that happen.
Well, I think you start in one spot and you really refine the look and the feel that you want to have. You have people come visit and you get their feedback, see what they feel, see how they feel, ask questions. Facebook is a terrific place to ask questions, and people will be honest with you. They'll tell you if something is good or if it's not good, and listen to them. I think a big part of this is just listening to what people want. Listen in on conversations on social media. See what your competition is doing, and whoever's doing it successfully, don't blatantly copy, but model what they're doing. And whatever works for them will work for you too. So use your own voice and your own story and be authentic. But if they have a sequence of events that they do that works, you can do that same sequence of events. It's the online world has made it really pretty easy if you pay attention and you listen and you are open to change, to create an empire almost that you could never have done in the past. And it's really exciting to watch it happen, because it could happen very quickly if you have all of the right pieces in place. And one of the reasons that I do the keyword analysis first is that's what will eliminate a lot of work from actively finding people. With doing the right keyword analysis and building that into everything that you do online, that will allow the people to come to you instead of you having to go after them.
Well, that's great advice. So I love the idea of the empire. Like, I love that. It's so visual. I understand it. Before, years ago, if you were building an empire, you'd have to do it physically, brick and mortar, okay? You don't have to do that anymore. So when we look at the empire that you mentioned, tell us the components of the empire. What should we be looking for in building our empire?
Just building one piece at a time. You can start with Facebook, and then you can move on to Twitter, and then really knowing how to join the conversations, because Twitter is fast and everything is very short and clipped, and you need to know how to get through the chatter and through all of the social noise, like I like to call it social noise. Get through that to find the conversations with the people that you really want to connect with, the people that are your target market, the people that can be your unpaid sales force, people that can help you market your products, people that are just excited to know you. And another thing that you could do that in the past was almost impossible to do was connect with people that you never thought you'd get to meet. I mean, you can just join in on a conversation on Twitter by using Twitter search and hashtags, and finding the conversations you want to be in on, and get on a conversation with celebrities, and not in an intrusive way, like be able to offer them some advice. I had a client for a while who's a hand model, and she had a line of anti-aging hand care products. And I set up a search for the hashtag dry hands, and at 11 o'clock at night, I would go look at this search, and I would find people on Twitter that were complaining about dry hands before they went to bed at night. And I would send them 20% off coupons. And every night we sold a couple of $100 of hand cream before we went to bed.
That's fabulous. I know you're on all the time, because, I mean, we've been back and forth, and I love that. I love being able to post something, you know, for instance, about the show. I posted last night about, you know, the lineup for the guests. Right away you were on. Right away your people were on. So, I mean, that's really the way to keep it going. But I think that that's a brilliant idea. So can we get back to what you just said about Twitter? Can we get
Twitter,
back to that? Because that
Twitter
is absolutely brilliant.
That's where you find people. And there's a tool that I use called Hootsuite, which is a social management dashboard. And there's a free version, and the paid version, I think, is $10 a month, which is worth every penny. There are other similar tools, but I like this one the best. And what you could do is you can go in there and you can create searches based on these different hashtags, and the hashtags are based on your keywords. So this is another reason why the keywords are really important to do right up front, because everything you build is going to be based on these words. And it's going to help you find the audience that you need online and be able to interact with them really effectively. Because you do not need a huge social media following to be able to make a difference, both in the world and in your bottom line. You just need the right people. My hand model client that I'm referring to, she had 350 Facebook fans and maybe 3,500 Twitter followers. And we sold $80,000 worth of $100,000 worth of hand cream in 8 months with no budget at all, just communicating with blogs and working on social media. And
that's huge.
Tiny following, and she was just bought out by a licensing company. She was bought out by a licensing company about a year and a half ago, and her products are in CVS this week. And she contributes that to the work that we did together.
That's fabulous. That is fabulous. So, I always say to people, it's not how big your following is, it's how committed your following is. Because a lot of people think they have 10,000 people and they're so, that they're more important than the person that has 400 people. But I've seen huge things with small followings, but very, very motivated, very loyal followings. It's amazing what you can do. I mean, I attest a best-selling book that I worked on with one of my clients. He doesn't have a huge following, but let me tell you, that book hit bestseller status in less than 2 days before the book launch, all right, in 3 categories on Amazon, and it was because of his following. And it wasn't a huge following. It's a motivated following.
And like my client was a perfect example. There was 350 people that want to hear what she has to say. Where do you have that every single day?
Exactly.
There's no place else that you will have that every single day but online. And that's why it's really important to build a welcoming, comforting place for them to come and visit you, to come engage, to make them want to share, to be able to want to answer your questions, to tell people what they feel about your product or your book or your services. And if you create that welcoming space, almost like a salon, they're going to come and they're going to join with your friends. They're going to meet other people. And then what they're posting about you is being shown on their walls and on their Twitter feed. So you don't know who's going to see it just by way of them interacting on your wall or posting something about you or sharing a link. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and the relationships that you can grow. There's no predicting what might happen. Like every day is a little adventure. You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who you're going to meet, and I find that very exciting.
That's why you're so fun, because you look at life as every day it's a new adventure. A lot of people get up in the morning and they go to work. You go out on a new adventure.
I did that for 25 years.
I love that. So I know you're in product development. I'm so excited about your new product. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I found myself answering the same questions over and over and over again and wanting to work with so many people that couldn't afford for me to, I give such a level of attention and detail to my clients. I have to charge a certain amount of money, and I wanted to be able to help everybody. And what I've done is I've created a system, and I'm calling it the Total Social PR System. And it is everything I do with my private clients, from finding the keywords to setting up the social media sites, to the size graphics you need, to checklists and templates and media contact lists, and there are 9 modules so far. There are going to be more, but there are 9 modules that in each module there's a slide that says what you must do, what somebody else could do for you. So it teaches you how to outsource and the things that you can outsource and the things that you can't. And the 3 things that you can't outsource are your voice, your knowledge, and your unique brilliance. Those are yours, and nobody else could do that but you. And so what this is, it's a total system. It's everything you need to do. It's there's a Facebook group where my goal for this Facebook group is everybody interacts with each other and shares information and successes. And if somebody lands a media opportunity for themselves and they need a second person, I want them to go into that Facebook group and say, I'm being interviewed, I'm a health coach, we need another health coach, do you want to be on an interview with me? So I want that kind of interaction. I want it to be a real club. And I want everybody to, pitch themselves, be their own publicity agent, and to share on social media and to do it right. I'm so tired of looking at bad social media. It's not hard to get it right. I want everybody to do it right and to be really successful, to not be frustrated by the medium. The medium is so powerful and can bring so many wonderful things to so many people. So this system will teach you how to do it all. And there will be monthly Q&A calls and expert guest series starting in April, and the Facebook group that I had mentioned. And I just want to create an amazing space where people could share their brilliance and make celebrities out of themselves, and just grow and learn new things and all kinds of joint venture opportunities. And I will be adding modules. We already have 3 more modules in the works for Google+, YouTube, and Facebook ads. So the content will always be fresh and new. And I just want everybody to sign up and get in there and start promoting themselves.
So this sounds fascinating. It sounds really like what so many people need is to really understand, because most people are on social media, they're making mistakes, they're doing things that maybe don't show themselves in the best light either. That's the other thing I think is, or they're posting something and they're not coming back for a month and a half. People are responding, they don't say, so there's so many different things that are going on. But it seems to me like if they had this type of information, they would at least kind of have the minimal amount of expectations for how they should respond, behave, and set things up. So that's fascinating. When you get that rolled out, maybe you would come on and show us a little bit about that, because I'd like to have my viewers have more of an understanding of exactly what that is and how it could take them maybe to the next level. So maybe we can just look at a few different things that you would have. I don't know, we can talk about that, but I'd love to have you do that because I think it would be fabulous.
I would love to do that. And, we just literally opened the doors on Monday to a very, very soft launch. So, so far there's only a handful of people in there, but I would like to come back when we really have the group rocking and rolling. And you can see them in action. I'll have stories of how being involved, just by connecting with each other, they've benefited. And I would love to be able to share that with the audience.
Oh, I think that would be great. So, talking about what you shouldn't do on social media, what are those things that you recommend that your clients don't do? What are those beware of? The no-nos.
The one thing is using hashtags on Facebook. They don't mean anything there. They mean an enormous amount in Twitter, and by the hashtag I mean the £. Uh-huh. It doesn't mean anything on Facebook, so there's no reason to use it there. Posting too often on LinkedIn is another thing that people shouldn't do. LinkedIn is primarily for business, and you need to have a different voice, a different demeanor on LinkedIn. So if you just post once a day or a couple of times a week, it's plenty. If you're promoting something, promote it very gently on LinkedIn. People do not want to be spammed. I mean, they really don't want to be spammed on any of the networks, but LinkedIn more specifically. And another thing that I see is on Pinterest, if people have products that they have to sell and they're not promoting them properly on Pinterest. Pinterest has a built-in gift guide. And if you type in the description field a dollar sign and an amount, whatever you post will automatically be put into the correct price category in their gift guide. And it's like it's like being in a gift guide for free that, millions of people see. So people don't use that function in Pinterest, and I think that's a real loss.
Well, that's great advice. That's wonderful advice. I have some rules that I give my clients, that I recommend, I should say, that I recommend my clients don't break. One of them is, I don't really think it's a great idea if you're a business person to be photographed with alcohol, drinking.
Oh.
Don't have photographs of yourself, where you've been under the influence. Another thing is, even if you smoke, you don't have to communicate that to the world, because there's a lot of people that don't want to do business with people that smoke. And also, I try to also monitor. There's a setting where you can monitor the. Well, I can't remember what the setting is, but you can monitor like your language level. So I try to make sure that.
That other people can't post that on your.
Yeah, that they can't post things like that, because I use mine primarily for, business. Of course, my friends come on, but, we have to have that level up there. So those are things that I'm careful about.
Yeah, I have an overall blanket statement for that. If you're not quite sure if you should post something, you ask yourself 3 questions. Can my mother see this? Can my child see this? Can my client see this? And if you can't say a resounding yes to all 3, don't post it.
Well, that's a great idea. I mean, that's a great rule of thumb, and people really should. The other thing is that content lives forever.
Oh, yes, it does.
That's forever. So, think about 10 years from now. Do you really want to see that? Some people don't realize that. A lot of younger people, I think, make that mistake, and then it comes back to haunt them when they're going to go for their job interview, or when they're going, for a promotion. So you really have to be cognizant of that. So Donna, I know I've been pumping you for information. You've been so kind about giving it to us. But can you just give me 3 tips, blanket tips, that we should use for social media?
Be authentic. Use your own voice. Don't have a different personality for real life and online. Always be the same person. That's one tip. The second tip is post regularly. People notice when you're not there, and then if you don't post regularly and you come back, they might not be there anymore. So it doesn't need to be anything earth-shattering, but post regularly, and be polite. Thank people. If somebody shares your link, say thank you. If somebody promotes something for you, or wishes you a happy birthday, or introduces you to somebody, have common courtesy online as you would in real life. It's just an extension. It's a tool. It's an extension. It's not a magic bullet. Having a Facebook page isn't going to make you millions of dollars unless you do something with it. So, just conduct yourself online as you would in real life.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Great information. And then publicity. Tell us a little bit about PR. We've talked so much about social media. Tell us about, what tips can we use for PR?
Be very respectful of the time, of the media professional's time if you're pitching. They are overloaded, usually underpaid, and they need your help. So really be a help to them. Give them exactly what they're asking for. If they're asking for a specific topic, don't pitch them on something else, because you'll just get blacklisted, and then they won't want to hear from you next time. Share their links online. If follow them on Facebook and Twitter and share their articles. Grow a relationship with them. Don't just reach out to them when you need something. Be there for them as well. Share their links. Share their radio shows. Share their articles. Comment. And then this one is enormous. If you're going to be pitching somebody who's a media professional, know their work. Read their articles. Listen to their radio show. If it's a magazine and you want to be in a certain section, make sure that you get the right editor for that section and, contact them directly and tell them why you're a benefit to that section. Don't leave it to them to put together the pieces. They're very busy and they really do need your help. And if you use common courtesy and pitch yourself the way they want to be pitched, you will be very successful with this.
Well, those are really great tips. Nobody understands how much time and energy it takes to put together shows, to pre-interview, to do all these things. And if I have to be searching for you, trying to get the information from you, have to keep following up, I'll just go to the next person. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't have, I don't really have the time to drag the information. And no, I'm not as busy as a regular person who's, got 50 shows that they're doing or whatever in a month. So, I mean, it's a lot. So that's great advice. So thank you so much for being here. I cannot thank you enough. You've given us so much great information. It's just been wonderful.
It's a pleasure, and a pleasure to connect with you, and I look forward to an ongoing relationship.
Me too, and I can't wait for the products are up and we can get back and we can really look at those very clearly and closely and really get the information.
I'm very excited about it. I'm really excited.
And
it's been
proud.
A lot of work, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so thank you so much. And now I have to say goodbye to my viewers. Thank you. It was wonderful for you to tune in today. I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Focus Forward. I'm Lori Flecken, signing off for this week.